You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
Welcome, Eagles fans. Welcome all to episode 6 of Flippin' the Birds. I'm Bryan Cameron alongside Chris and Fonte, and we're actually in person right now.
That's right.
In the backyard.
You see, if you hear those crickets in the backyard, it's actually we're at my house right now in northern New Jersey. This is out of the 6 episodes. This is the first that we've done in person. We like everybody, we have lives like everybody else out there. So Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it in person yet. But because for just to throw Bryan under the bus last week, he was in Dallas, so everybody got to give him crap for that. But last week, this is the first time we've been able to get together. We only live about 45 minutes away from each other, so
and I think if you guys end up hearing me run, it's because I'm being chased by spiders. To Chris, they look like the size of ants, but to me, I swear they're taking over the world right now.
I had to save Bryan from a spider before.
2 of them?
Two spiders, one of them being a daddy long legs.
Bro, has long legs for a reason, man.
So I don't know. We might have to move this inside in a minute before he turns into Spider-Man.
You never know nowadays. Anything's possible. Speaking of anything's possible, so last night, the
nice
NFL
transition.
World, actually it is.
The transition,
perfect.
man.
Andrew Luck is actually, at 29 years old, retiring from the NFL.
That's like, it's a guy we're older than.
It's mind-blowing.
He turns 30 in a couple weeks, but he's such a great talent. Number 1 overall pick in 2012.
Yeah,
and went him and RG3. And who knew RG3 would last between the two of them?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know RG3 was still in the league until the Eagles held joint practice.
Yeah, my buddy, my one of my best friends, who's a Redskins fan, swore by RG3. He's gonna be the next coming of Joe Theismann.
He was lethal.
He was great,
but
rookie of the
year,
right? And then he just tore his knee apart. But that's what happens when you're a player for the Redskins. You get hurt.
It's mind-blowing. Speaking of the Redskins, though, like, in a way, it's kind of, to me, it's evident because how the Eagles have protected Wentz for the past 2 seasons with injuries, knowing that these guys get paid millions of dollars to perform, and Wentz was under more scrutiny than Andrew Luck because of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, everybody gave Wentz so much shit about all the time he's missed and this and that, and then they want, like, as Cowboys fans especially, want to say, oh, you guys let your best quarterback go to Jacksonville. You got Wentz, or how clown Skip Bayless likes to call him, Wentz with WINTZ.
I can't stand that, man.
I have a lot of feelings for him, and none of them are pleasant. But But then when you look at Andrew Luck, his career has just been riddled with injuries. I mean, he took a whole year off to help to get his shoulder right. And I don't want to put anything, I'm not trying to put him down. But it's really a bad testament to their front office when they drafted him. I think I saw that the GM, Ryan Grigson, spent 3 picks total in his tenure. I think 2012 to 2016. 3 picks total on offensive linemen. And they were like 6th or 7th rounders. So he never invested in the offensive line for him. And Andrew Luck, year after year after year, was top 5, maybe top 3, if not the top
mind-blowing
quarterback being sacked.
I'm a little heartbroken because I wanted to see a Luck versus Wentz, a Reich versus Peterson Super Bowl. Like, it had to happen. And to me, like I was saying, like, it's just proof of how cultured can really define a franchise. Because Wentz, he just wants to get back on the field. He wants to win a championship.
Yep.
Luck is kind of like, there has to be more to this. I feel like with Jim Irsay, kind of how he pushed Payne out the door, brought Luck in, and we were sold that they were going to win another one.
And that was a big thing too. They were like, Payne's gone. We're going to suck for a year, suck for Luck, and we're going to get Andrew Luck. That was very, very publicized. There was no secret to what they were doing. And when Luck was in, he was elite.
Yeah,
he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And for him to leave now, like, you just feel for the guy. And, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of trolls out there saying how, he's retiring now because he's mentally tired. What is that?
That takes a mental toll on you. Like,
yeah, you getting slammed by 300-pound linemen every day.
It's not a normal,
especially when you have offensive line as terrible as he had over the years. That just they were just pretty much just open doors.
Yeah,
they snapped the ball and it's like, all right, he's already sacked. You might as well have a center and Andrew Luck. And just count. All right, guys, can you count to 3 Mississippi before you even come? Because that's how their offensive line was. But like they Sunday after Sunday, he was having 300-pound plus linemen or blitzing 250 plus linebackers, like 3% body fat, just yoked out of their minds, speeding 4.6 speed, 4.5 speed, and slamming him to the ground without any protection, and that takes a toll on the guy.
Absolutely.
And I get it. He doesn't want to. He's always hurt. He has an ankle injury right now, or ankle calf injury right now, and his status for week 1 was up in the air. But like you and everyone will say, oh well, he should go to he should go talk to the military or he should talk to the cops or about this. But the guy, like, everybody's different. Like, that's their job. This is his job.
Yeah.
You can't compare the two. It's apples to oranges, really. And when you're going to practice and you snap the ball, I'm hurt again. I gotta go to rehab. I gotta go get MRI. I gotta do this and that. And it's the same thing every day. And then all of a sudden you think you're better, and then you're not. Yeah. And then you're gonna go through the whole thing over and over and over. I get it.
And the moment you doubt yourself, that's it. Like you're falling through a wormhole at that point.
Especially in football, if you're hesitant,
that's it,
about your body in a game.
You're done.
You're done. Like, it's like you go to the gym and you're just getting over it. Like, for myself, I have 3 herniated discs. The other day, I went and I deadlifted for the first time in months, and I'm there. I'm like, I got 315 on the bar, and I'm like, damn, do I really want to do this right now? I didn't go in there like, all right, I'm good. But like me, I'm like worried about my back. I went in there, good form and everything, but at the same time, I'm like,
it's still there.
I'm like, do I really want to do this? And I lifted it, and then I was kind of out of commission for a couple of days because I'm like, my back's out of whack. I went right to the chiropractor.
That's
so
wild.
that little hesitation you have, and that's what he had. He had a hesitation. He couldn't do the game. He couldn't play the game with the love and enthusiasm he had when he first started. And when you lose that in the NFL, when you lose that in football, you can't. You need to take yourself away from the game.
And last year he struggled in the beginning to throw the deep ball, if I'm not mistaken. They had to bring Brissett at times to throw the deep ball.
To throw Hail Marys.
So I think my question now is, advantage Eagles where Wentz is actually leaner.
Yep.
He's dieting better. Luck is always heavy. Has always been heavy. He's a big bulky quarterback. So I'm assuming Wentz is definitely taking the right approach from here on out with dieting better.
It's probably dieting better from all that veal he's probably eating, all that deer that he's hunting in the off season. But Wentz, and his deep ball is back. He keeps overthrowing Deshaun Jackson in practice.
Yeah.
So but now Colts have a big hole at quarterback,
and I feel for Frank Reich because he deserved to get the whole head coaching spot.
Yeah,
and it sounded like it was going to be a good mix between him and Luck. But
thinking of Reich's coaching spot, it's kind of the same story as Peterson, because when Peterson was hired, everyone thought of him as the worst hire in the league at that point, and everyone was saying the Eagles lost out on Ben McAdoo. Thank God. They lost out on Hugh Jackson. They lost out on, I think, Gus Bradley was when Chip Kelly was hired.
There was others.
There was another one, and then it was just a big uproar. Like, wow, they had to resort to Doug Peterson, whereas the Colts, they tried to get Josh McDaniels. And they thought they had him, but then he was like, nah, I'm going to stay with the Patriots. And then they had to resort to Frank Reich. Frank Reich's great coach.
Yeah, he's a great offensive mind.
Great offensive mind. He may not have been the best coach, head coach on the Chargers. But, where was he head coach? I think he was head coach on the Chargers. Offensive coordinator on the Chargers, maybe. But he found success with the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And because when he left as offensive coordinator, we had Mike Groh.
And we kind of took a step back.
Kind of took a step back. I think kind of
significantly.
Is pretty is making it pretty
Our offense was
lenient.
lacking a lot last season because of that.
But he did a really good job with the Colts. And he was their second choice.
And they looked good last year. I mean, they started off kind of rough, and if I'm not mistaken, they went on a crazy win streak mid-season.
Yep.
They became a playoff team.
They won 10-6.
He was back in rare form.
Yep. They won 10-6. They won their first playoff game. They lost the second one. But pretty good year for a first year head coach. You know, it was his first head coaching gig, and it's he's where he's supposed to be. Going back to his history, he was offensive coordinator in San Diego when in his first year they were 17th in the league in points per game. In his second year in San Diego, they were 27th in the league in points per game. Rushing offense, Rivers.
Okay.
Because it was 2014. Rushing offense, 2014 30th, 2015 31st. So not everybody was too excited when he came over in 2016. But when he came over, Eagles, 9th in the league points per game, 10th and 11th in the league in rushing yards per game. And then 2017, Super Bowl year, 1st in the league in points per game, 1st in the league, 3rd in the league in rushing, 1st in the league in touchdowns, and 13th in rushing and passing yards.
In 2016, we didn't have anybody as a weapon. Like we had, I think, Ryan Matthews in the backfield, Darren Sproles. Yeah. We had Dorial Green Beckham, the infamous one.
DGB. But then last year with the Colts, 8th in the league in points per game, 5th in rushing, 5th in points, total points, 20th in the league in rushing offense, but 6th in the league in passing yards per game, 2nd in touchdowns. You know, he finally found his niche, and it's such a shame that he loses, and they finally have an elite offensive line.
Mm-hmm. They got the weapons for it.
They got the weapons. Marlon Mack is really good.
And they drafted Paris Campbell, right? The slot
kid? Paris Campbell. A lot of people on the Eagles really wanted him. A lot of the Eagles fans really wanted him for our team. But it's such a shame. But, now it's Jacoby Brissett's turn. And, when Andrew Luck sat out the year to help his shoulder out, Brissett played 16 games, started 15 of them, went 4-11, completed 58.8% of his passes, 3,098 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
And that was the year that he got traded to them.
That was the year that he got traded to them. Yeah, right. So, he showed promise with the Patriots in 2016 when Brady was out for those 4 games. He went 1-1, 61.8% completion rate, 400 yards, but no touchdowns, no interceptions. Last year, he played in 4 games. He went 2 passes. He completed 2 out of 4 for 2 yards.
In 2016, he had Chuck Pagano, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
right?
2016, he was with the Patriots.
I'm sorry, the year.
Yeah, 2017, he was with Chuck Pagano, right? So, everybody wants to say Jacoby Brissett's a great quarterback, great backup. Really, I haven't seen him in Frank Reich's offense. So it's kind of a pro and con to that. You kind of want to see him in Frank Reich's offense, but at the same time, he didn't have great success in Chuck Pagano's offense. So who's to say that he can take over a better offense and do better with that?
So with that said, Nate Sudfeld, does it happen? You're grinning right now. So
Nate, I mean, to contradict Liam Jenkins's article from today, I mean, I do think we see another Sam Bradford situation here, where, if for those of you that don't remember, shame on you if you don't remember. A few years ago, when Carson Wentz was drafted, we had Sammy Sleeves, Liam Jenkins. I feel like
Sam's jersey should have went in that trade.
Should have. And the Vikings showed up with a first-round pick that turned into Derek Barnett to force Sam Bradford in August.
Yep.
So, I mean, Liam's point is that the Eagles put a second round tender on Nate Sudfeld.
So that's how much they value him.
That's how much they value him. So for them to trade Nate Sudfeld, you would think they're really looking for a second round pick or more.
So now it depends on how much Reich and
how much does Reich really want Sudfeld? I mean, obviously he knows who Sudfeld is. He was when he was with the Eagles. Sudfeld played at Indiana. It would be a homecoming for him.
Yeah.
So maybe the Colts see the long-term value in Nate Sudfeld coming back at the end of September, learning the playbook in the few weeks that he's out in September, letting Jacoby Brissett handle the first 3 or 4 games, and then it's Nate Sudfeld's team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe they see the long-term value. They trade for him. They sign him long-term. Maybe they do that. But at the same time, I saw Jim Irsay's comments today, or maybe was it last night. He doesn't think this is the end of Andrew Luck.
He's not sold on it.
He doesn't think this is the end of Andrew Luck. So maybe this is a real mental year for Andrew Luck. Maybe he goes out, gets really healthy, clears his mind, and comes back next year.
If Luck comes back, I'm demanding a Luck versus Wentz Super Bowl.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, the next year, if Luck comes back, the Eagles will be going on for their back-to-back Super Bowls next year. Because we all know how that's... I mean, I don't want to spoil our season predictions. But, yeah, so we'll see. But I do think it's a real possibility that Nate Sudfeld is not on this team come next week.
It's going to be very interesting for the next couple of days. A lot of trade rumors, a lot of trade wins. But outside of that, how about we dive back into our positional rankings, since we're only about 14 days away from the start of the season.
Yeah. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
2 weeks from right now, we'll be doing our recap of the first game of the season.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's our first recap of the actual game.
Yeah, because next week we may have a surprise for all of you. Next week. Yeah, so last week we did our...
we did the offensive side of the NFC East. Majority of it as unbiased as we tried, but as biased as it sounds.
We promised it wasn't, but just because we're Eagles fans, we really went through each one and really... I mean, I think it's definitely going to be different for defensive side.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But I think
I agree.
Every single one outside of running back was... And running back's conditional. Was
depending on Ezekiel.
Yeah, depending on Zeke, was Eagles. We think the Eagles have the best quarterback. We think and when we say this, we mean the total package,
group, yeah.
The total positional group. We don't just mean the starters. We mean the whole group. So last week we said Eagles for quarterback because we got Carson Wentz, and now you got Josh McCown, who had a great game on Thursday.
He was
first
really good.
17 for 24.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, 192 yards, I believe.
He was moving. He
started off rough, but he just came out of retirement, and then he finished really well.
And
so
Whiteside.
Whiteside. We'll get into him a little bit.
I'm having a Chris moment.
Yeah, don't. Let me. Alexa, turn on some Marvin Gaye. And then so we think. Well, we think. We know Ezekiel is an elite talent.
Yes.
When he's in the game, when he's on the team that he's not on right now, the Cowboys have the best running back position in the division.
The whole dynamic of the offense.
Right. And then we think it's Eagles with their depth, with Howard, Sanders, Clement, Sproles, maybe Boston Scott, maybe, Wendell Smallwood, who knows. And then we think it's the Giants and the Redskins. Even though Darius Geis I didn't think Darius Geis was that quickly. Darius Geis had a really good game for the Redskins.
That crazy stiff arm.
Yeah, I wanted him on the Eagles when he got drafted.
But it was an issue. I think it was a personal thing that they didn't vibe with. But I'm happy with Sanders.
Yeah, I'm happy with Sanders too. It led us to Sanders. All the broken roads lead to something.
Yeah.
And then with the wide receivers, we think the Eagles have the best wide receivers group. Mm-hmm. Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Deshaun Jackson, the aforementioned Arcega-Whiteside.
Yes.
And then we got an emergence of Greg Ward. We have an emergence of health for Mac Hollins, or emergence of being alive. So who knows what he was doing. And then we said the Cowboys were next, with Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup,
and Randall
Cobb. Then we thought the Giants were third. Well, we thought the Giants and Redskins were tied for third.
It's weird because the Giants, they have good name receivers, I can say, but they all play the same position.
Right. I mean, because then you could look in tight end group for FAN group. He's not really a tight end. He's a wide receiver in a tight end's body.
Yeah,
he doesn't block. He just goes out wide. He splits them out wide. But then we thought the Redskins were also not great because they got Paul Richardson, who's coming off an injury from last year.
Exactly.
Trey Quinn was hurt last year. He only played 3 games. And they lost Jamison Crowder, who was always hurt for them, and I think he's hurt for the Jets again.
And I think they're cutting Dotson.
Oh, who was also always hurt.
Yeah.
Great talent, too, also always hurt.
All their players are always hurt. Offensive line,
the Redskins training staff, they're not getting paid very well over there.
And they announced their starting quarterback for the season, which will be Case
Keenum.
Mr. 38-7,
Mr. Pick 6 to Patrick Robinson. Case Keenum, the Eagles know him all too well. So I think I'm predicting first pass of Case Keenum's Redskins career, pick 6 to Sidney Jones.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice way to start 2019. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't want to go back to that shit. And then offensive line, it was kind of hard. Well, tight ends. We said Eagles were won by far, with Ertz, Goddard, Perkins, Rodgers. Now AJ Ellis, Alex.
Who's gonna probably fill in for Rodgers for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so he caught a touchdown last week. Then we thought the Redskins were next with Jordan Reed if he's healthy, which I think he just got hurt the other day.
Oh my God.
Again.
It's every season, bro.
It's like every week for him. And Vernon Davis, and then we said the Giants with Evan Ingram, and then the Cowboys with Mr. ESPN announcer Jace Witten coming back, and then they have, I don't even remember who they have. Do they have still Blake Jarwin maybe?
Jarwin, yeah. I saw him in the preseason game last night.
Yeah, they have Jason Witten, Blake Jarwin, and Dalton Schultz, whoever that is. And then, so offensive line, Eagles were 1, Cowboys 2. Very, very close. Yeah. Very close. It's just the Eagles have the depth.
Correct.
Eagles have the depth. Behind Jason Peters, you got Andre Dillard. Behind Brandon Brooks, who may not even start week 1.
Big V.
You got Big V.
Big V's looking pretty good.
Halapuli Vadi Vaitai.
There we go. Trying it.
There we go. And then behind Lane Johnson, you have Jordan Mailata, who's had a great preseason. Yeah. He has to clean up the penalties, but foundation-wise, progress, he's been progressing very well. Because for the Cowboys, behind Tyron Smith, you have Cameron Fleming. Behind Connor Williams, you have Connor McGovern. Behind Zach Martin, you have Xavier Suafilo. Behind Travis Frederick, who was not hurt last year, he had a disease. He had that disease that kept him out all year, and apparently he's very healthy this year. And if he's healthy, he challenges Jason Kelce for best center in the league. But who knows how that'll help, how that'll affect them this year. You got Joe Looney behind him. So, the depth isn't really there for the Cowboys. So that's why they're number 2. And then Giants number 3. They did rehaul that line.
They traded for that guard from Cleveland.
Yeah, Kevin Zeitler.
Yeah.
Very, very good guard. Pro Football Focus's best guard in pass protection last year. They got Nate Solder, who was good for the Patriots, not so good for the Giants last year, but still, he's still pretty decent. They drafted Will Hernandez, who's a very, very good guard coming out of college. So they really retooled that line for the better. And then the Redskins are starting Eric Flowers at left tackle. I think that's all we got to say about that. I actually don't think they are starting him at left tackle, but they're starting him somewhere. And if you're starting Eric Flowers somewhere on your line,
oh man,
can't wait till September 8th.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, they're licking their chops.
Graham has actually looked really explosive this preseason, but you did mention about Football Focus before. I don't know if you read the article about the top quarterbacks from Pro Football Focus. Wentz is outside the top 10 because they feel he's only good because of the weapons around him, which is mind-blowing because his rookie season, he showed the potential.
Yeah.
And every quarterback in the league pretty much has great weapons around them right now. I
don't think there's one quarterback outside Tom Brady who can make chicken soup out of chicken you-know-what.
Yeah.
Because Tom Brady has had no-name wide receivers besides Randy Moss, besides Josh Gordon, but Josh Gordon hasn't really played for him that much. Julian Edelman, yeah. Wes Welker, yeah. But no star outside receivers.
Randy Moss that one year.
He had Randy Moss who caught 21 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But outside of him, who has he had? And then running backs wise,
Nobody. It's always been a rotation.
It's been a rotation for the Patriots. So Tom Brady makes it. We could walk in there onto the Patriots team right now. We could probably score 10 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, I'll be number 1 in fantasy.
Absolutely. PPR, we got you. But and I hate giving Tom Brady credit. But it is what it is. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of him, maybe Drew Brees. But now he has all the
without the number 1 wideout for years.
So like he's accurate. He's a 70% passer. But you can't really get the stats that Tom Brady gets without a star.
But can we touch on Drew Brees real quick with the 70%? Because Drew Brees, I feel like, does the most checkdowns in the NFL, and it kind of pisses me off.
Not named Sam Bradford,
yeah,
or Dak Prescott,
pretty much. But it kind of pisses me off that everybody praises the 70% when he's passing to his running backs at least like 90% of the time.
Yeah, but he is an elite quarterback.
I'm not taking that away from him. But it's like
but he has a very accurate deep ball too.
He does.
But Carson Wentz, he did a lot with nothing.
Absolutely.
And I think it was last podcast or maybe 2 podcasts ago, we went over his weapons from his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that great? So this year he's going to silence the haters. That's all.
Looking forward to it.
But so going to this. So now the positional groups for defense. Let's start with defensive end. So we got the Eagles. They're missing Michael Bennett from last year. They're missing Chris Long. Derek Barnett's back healthy, who I predicted to have 12 sacks this year.
I'm definitely looking forward to Barnett breaking
Barnett's
out.
going just because he's going to have so many one-on-ones.
Mm-hmm.
The whole defensive line's going to have a lot of one-on-ones because who are you going to double team?
You can't. I feel like as an offensive line, you can't risk it.
Right. If you're going to double team Cox, you're giving one-on-one to Malik Jackson, Derek Barnett, and Brandon Grab. You double team Malik Jackson. Good luck because then Cox is
already in backfield.
So you got Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham. Behind them, you got Vinny Curry, Josh Sweat, who I don't think Josh Sweat's above Deshaun Hall. Deshaun Hall has been a monster in the preseason.
He's been a savage, but I don't know. It's like they invested so much in Sweat so far.
Right.
But the fact that now Sweat has that knee injury, I'm cautiously optimistic of him really winning that spot.
And then you got Sharif Miller, who's okay. Then you go to the Cowboys. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, who has never had a sack on Lane Johnson. Tyrone Crawford, Taco Charlton, who a lot of people are high on. Robert Quinn, who's suspended for I think 2 or 4 games, I believe.
Those PEDs for him too.
Yeah. Who, if you're a Cowboys player, you're going to get suspended.
It's a normal thing for you guys.
It's going to happen. Dorrance Armstrong, Kerry Hyder, and then Randy Gregory is suspended too. He's indefinite though, so who knows when he's get back.
Oh yeah.
So the Cowboys have the talent on defensive end position. They
just don't have the availability.
Who knows when they're going to be playing for them. And then for the Giants, you have Dexter Lawrence. I mean, they play a 3-4.
They reached for Lawrence, right?
They really reached for Dexter Lawrence.
Kind of pissed me off that they drafted him because I feel like that's the route the Eagles were going to go if he dropped.
So you got Dexter Lawrence, B.J. Hill. I mean, they don't really list a defensive end position because they run a 3-4, so they kind of run like 3 defensive tackles. So we're going to skip them. Let's just stick them last. And then for the Redskins, they have Jonathan Allen, who's very good. Yes. They got Matt Ioannidis, who's very good. But then behind them, you got JoJo Wicker, Caleb Brantley, Ryan B, Jonathan Bonner. So again, just
no names.
There's no depth there. So it's between the Cowboys and Eagles now. So when you're looking at the starters, DeMarcus Lawrence, Tyrone Crawford, they might hold the edge on the Eagles just because Brandon Graham doesn't get the sack numbers, and Derek Barnett. We don't know what we're gonna get from Derek Barnett,
and they have an age advantage as well,
right?
A bunch of young guys.
Yeah. So, but then you look at the depth. I think because of the suspensions, I think if the Cowboys didn't have any suspensions, I think the Cowboys would have this.
Yeah.
But I think with the suspensions, the Eagles have the best defensive end group.
And we're not the only ones to say that. PFF actually ranked them over the summer as the number 1 defensive line.
As a whole.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, defensive line. If you want to talk about defensive tackle right now, I'm going to just say right now, Eagles are number 1 defensive tackle.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when you look at when you look at the defensive tackle position for the Eagles, Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, Tim Jernigan, Hassan Ridgeway, Trayvon Hester, who caused the double doink. They got Aziz Shutu back and Kevin Wilkins. Their defensive tackle depth is great.
Because that kid Aziz actually looked pretty good.
Aziz is pretty good. It makes you say, "Oh shit," too. You see what I did there? I don't know. And Tim Jernigan, when he's on the field, you can't run.
Yeah, he's a bully.
You can't run on Tim Jernigan. Yeah. Hassan Ridgeway showing really good things too. Then you look at the Cowboys. They have Malik Collins, who's good. Antoine One's good. Christian Covington, who came over from Texans. He was a lot of Texas fans really liked him. But then they have Tristan Hill. Giants, like we said before, don't really have defensive tackles. So they have B.J. Hill, Dalvin Tomlinson, Dexter Lawrence, John Jenkins, R.J. McIntosh, Holston Pierre. Not really doing much for me. And then you got Deron Payne for the Redskins, Tim Settle. So it's really, again, another between the Cowboys and Eagles here, which the Eagles run away with it. They got Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Cox had over 10 sacks last season.
Yeah, I think 10 and a half.
Brandon Graham, I think he had probably
I think 9 maybe.
Yeah, around that.
But then you look at that was Fletcher Cox next to a revolving door. Mm-hmm. Haloti Ngata. Tim Jernigan came in December and was only there for a couple games and then was hurt again.
And Cox played about 90-something% of the snaps.
So Cox, who knows? They say they're saying that he's going to play week 1. Doug Peterson didn't sound too confident when he said it, but he'll play. But with Fletcher Cox now next to Malik Jackson, I think Fletcher Cox is in for a 12-13 sack.
And a healthy Brandon Graham.
And a healthy Brandon Graham.
Derek
Oh
Barnett.
my goodness. Alexa, play Marvin Gaye. This is crazy. So we're gonna go Eagles defensive tackle position 1, Cowboys 2, Giants 3, Redskins 4.
Okay,
Redskins suck.
I agree with that.
This next one's gonna pain me because the Eagles aren't number 1 for this. Linebackers.
I'm not gonna lie, Jalen Smith,
and Vander Esch, Leighton Vander Esch.
They're
monsters.
Phenomenal. They're
monsters, and they scare me for the next decade.
They remind me of Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly when they're in their prime.
They're great, and then Sean Lee's healthy, which is never. But if Sean Lee's healthy, he's really good too.
Yeah, but he's probably gonna get injured week 2.
Yeah, he's gonna get hurt tonight. He's gonna tie his shoe. He's gonna be hurt.
I feel like he should have retired instead of Andrew.
Yeah,
there's some way we could trade that with the universe.
I mean, their depth though: Justin Marsh, Lillard, Luke Gifford, Joe Thomas. Who knows who they are? I mean, I'm sure Cowboys fans know who they are. But then with the Eagles, Grugier Hill's hurt for a few weeks, so you got Nigel Bradham, you got Zach Brown, you got T.J. Edwards, L.J. Fort, Nathan Jerry, Alex Singleton, who's shown that he's a beast.
How many tackles did he have the last game?
I think 8.
Okay.
No, he didn't. T.J. Edwards had 7.
I know Singleton, the game before, he had 6.
Yeah, the game before he had about 8.
Okay.
So Singleton's been all over the place. T.J. Edwards too. L.J. Fort's been looking really good. Zach Brown still looks like he's finding his way into this defense. But with the injuries and everything, Eagles don't have that great of a strength of a linebacking group.
It's weird because they don't really value the linebacker position at all.
Right, and they haven't valued it, but they still got Nigel Bradham out of it, and they still got Grugier Hill.
Yeah.
So without even valuing it, they still got 2 studs there. It's just their availability.
And I think a key thing as well is that, which we'll probably get to next, is the signing of Sendejo and Cyprian,
right.
Big nickel.
Yep. They like to put that big safety in the box to act as a third linebacker instead of playing an actual linebacker.
Exactly. It's a weird thing, but it works for them.
It works. Jenkins worked for them. Yeah. That's why.
Jenkins,
so we'll see. Then the Giants got Alec Ogletree, who's pretty good for the Rams. Tate Davis, Lorenzo Carter, B.J. Goodson, Ryan Connolly, O'Shane. I'm not even trying to pronounce his last name. Ximines.
Zinez?
I'm
Spanish, so we put an accent on everything.
Is that Ximenez? Ximenez, maybe. Or Chimenez, something. Because I know the X sounds like a ch sometimes. But then the Redskins, they would have had a really good linebacking group if they still had Mason Foster.
He was still a free agent.
He was still a free agent. No one signed him. Reuben Foster got hurt. So right now they got Ryan Anderson, Sean Dion Hamilton, John Bostic, and great linebacker Ryan Kerrigan. Ryan Kerrigan terrorizes the Eagles
every season.
He terrorizes the Eagles, and he's great. So him alone just vaults that linebacker group to the top. So for me, it's Cowboys number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cowboys have the best linebacker group by far. In I don't want to say by far. A little ways away from the Eagles. Not too far, but a little ways away. Just because Jalen Smith and Van
they're
Der Esch,
impossible to run on.
They're great.
I'm really hoping Sanders and Jordan Howard can break that linebacker core this season, because they killed us last year.
Jalen Smith can run with wide receivers.
Yeah,
he can run with wide receivers. He can run with probably Tyreek Hill. You know, that's how fast he is as a linebacker.
And Van Der Esch with his coverage is literally everywhere the ball is.
And it's ridiculous. And a lot of people made fun of the Cowboys for drafting Van Der Esch where he was, and he's shown that.
Another pick that people were expecting the Eagles to make.
Yeah, yep. I think the Eagles are number 2 with the Redskins not too far behind them. And the Giants are just number 4 with the worst.
I think we could definitely do that because Redskins only have Kerrigan.
Yeah. So now we got cornerbacks. And what was once a surefire last place in the division for a position was the Eagles. It was cornerbacks, but now they're pretty strong.
They have an extremely good depth at the position. They don't have that that one island cornerback, but they have the right amount of guys who do everything different.
Right. They don't have guys to play man to man.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't have a Josh Norman back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Not right now. Josh Norman's not that good. They don't have a Richard Sherman. They don't have a Jalen Ramsey. They don't have Patrick Peterson. They have guys who can play their positions the right way and stay in their zones and play good zones. Avonte Maddox, Ronald Darby, Rasul Douglas, Sidney Jones. LeBlanc's out till November. They got Scandrick. And the rest of the guys, Jalen Mills is going to be back at some point.
He's a mystery at this point.
Yeah, who knows what we're going to get from him.
Not only that, who knows if we're going to still have him at this point.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah. But then the other guys, they're going to be cut. Josh Hawkins didn't have a great game on Thursday. Jeremiah McKinnon didn't have a great game on Thursday.
Terrorized.
He was getting worked
by Mike Floyd.
And then you got the Cowboys have Chidobe Awuzie, Byron Jones. Byron Jones is great.
He's a
corner.
savage.
He's a great corner. He might get priced out of the Cowboys. I hope he does.
Because of all the money.
All
they
the
can't
money
afford everybody. No. There's no possible
because they just gave all that money to Jalen Smith, who well deserved,
and they're going to give all that money to Ezekiel.
Maybe.
Hopefully he's top priority now.
Hopefully they break the bank for Dak Prescott.
That's what all Eagles fans are banking on right now.
Hopefully they break the bank, give him $50 million a year.
I'm pretty sure we could donate to that fund.
That's fine. We'll start a GoFundMe. Give him $50 million. That's fine. Jordan Lewis is pretty good for them too. Anthony Brown, and then you look at the Redskins. They had Josh Norman, who was once the best corner in the league.
Yeah.
He's not there anymore. Quentin Dunbar, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie came out of retirement to join him.
That was really weird.
He wanted to be back in the NFC East.
He's played on every single team in the NFC East.
He hasn't played with the Cowboys.
Okay, that's probably next year then.
Next year.
Okay.
He'll retire. No, he'll retire next year and then come back the following. Quentin Dunbar, Fabian Moreau. So they have a pretty strong cornerback room. But I think the Giants have a sneaky good cornerback room. They got Janoris Jenkins, who's very good.
He's still good, yeah.
DeAndre Baker was my favorite corner coming out the draft. He is very, very good. They also got Corey Ballantyne. They got Sam Beal, Antonio Hamilton. They drafted Julian Love as a corner, but I think they're going to play him as safety, who's very good in Notre Dame.
But even at safety, they got Peppers.
They got Jabril Peppers as safety. We're good at safety. Antonio Hamilton. It's kind of I feel like it's like a kind of a tie all around.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to put one over the other, I think the Cowboys probably have it just because of Byron Jones.
Yeah. Would you put Giants second? Because I feel like that's where you're fighting right now.
I think I'll put the Giants second.
Okay, I agree.
Just because we haven't really seen the Eagles at full health.
Yeah. Or a game plan as well.
And again, you're right. So because we're waiting on Sidney Jones to prove that he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Darby, who knows how he's going to come off that ACL. Jalen Mills, who knows how he's going to come off that the leg injury. Rasul Douglas, let's see him get real playing time.
Yeah.
We've seen him play well with playing time,
Mm-hmm.
but let's see him get a lot of playing time. LeBlanc's out till November. Vontae Maddox, let's see if he has a sophomore slump. He played great as a rookie.
And let's see if they keep him at cornerback.
Let's see if he's corner or safety this year. So there's too many question marks for me to put them up. So we're going Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Redskins. Because the Redskins really only have Josh Norman.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, the safety position. So let's start with the Giants. Like we just said, Jabril Peppers.
Mm-hmm.
The Odell Beckham trade.
Yeah.
Jabril Peppers, who I think is going to have a very good year for them. Because he's playing at home. He was, I used to teach in Teaneck, New Jersey, and he went to school 10 minutes down the road from me. He went to school in Paramus Catholic, and now he's playing his games in East Rutherford, 20 minutes away from Paramus.
Yeah.
So
and he's not a scrub. He's
not
small,
a scrub.
But he's not a scrub.
He's not a scrub. He's a mini Landon Collins. And so he's going to be playing in front of his family and friends 8 times a year. So
sometimes that could hurt you, but more than most, it could definitely help you.
Yeah, and they got Antoine Bethea, who came out from Arizona. Julian Love, they're going to play at safety, who was very good coming out of college. Cowboys have who they were hoping for Earl Thomas. Every Cowboys fan was praying to every God they believe in for Earl Thomas.
I was kind of shocked he went to Baltimore.
I was shocked too. I was happy. But
yeah,
I was shocked too because everybody's gonna point to that video. Yeah, come get me to Jason Garrett. Then he goes to Baltimore, and then hey, Cowboys fans, he called Carson Wentz elite.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that. He said Carson. there are a few guys in the league that you can call elite, and Carson Wentz is one of them.
Yep.
Sorry. Now everybody's gonna say, all the Cowboys fans are gonna say, "Oh, we never wanted him." Yeah, bullshit.
And apparently they're still holding out for Eric Berry, but his price has not gone down at all.
Eric Berry, I'll be surprised if he plays again.
Yeah.
Another health guy. He had leukemia, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously he's gonna put his health first.
Yeah.
It's very, very deserving of that. But Cowboys fans have a lot of pipe dreams.
Yeah, and they signed George Iloka?
Iloka, yeah, from he was at the Vikings last year. He was pretty good with the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings not so much. So who knows what he has left in the tank. So they have Xavier Woods, Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath's a pretty good player for them.
He's been there for
a while.
Time, yeah.
So now we go to the Redskins with a linebacker at a safety position, Landon Collins, Monte Nicholson. It's not that strong. I mean, Landon Collins is a good player. He's a very good player, but he's not a safety. He's just not a safety.
He's not a coverage guy. He's more of just
he's in the box safety. He's a Mark Barron. I think Deion Jones on the Falcons. He's kind of a tweener. He's a great linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a tweener. He could be a safety too because he's very fast. It's kind of like Landon Collins, kind of like Deion Jones build wise. Then we go to the Eagles. Mr. Doesn't Miss a Snap, Malcolm Jenkins.
He's played in 85 games out of 85 games since he's been with the Eagles. That's remarkable.
Like and that's how many snaps he's played.
That's remarkable, man.
He deserves all the money. Whatever he's asking, just give it to him.
Yeah, I'm willing to
this defense
in a couple
would
paychecks.
crumble without him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you got Rodney McLeod, who showed he was very healthy during last. Cause that was great to see. You got Sendejo, who's been playing very well.
Looking good.
You got Cyprian, who is good. He showed he's good.
It's a scary safety group. They look really good on paper.
Trey Sullivan didn't have a great game on Thursday. Yeah. Neither did DeAndre Hall. DeAndre Hall is probably cut. DeAndre Hall just...
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that cut. I've been waiting
he's
since
probably
last
cut.
year.
And I think they just traded for Rudy... The guy from the Cardinals.
Oh, yes, Rudy Ford. But he's supposed to be more so
special teams guy. So it's a very deep safety group. So, looking at that, you have to say Eagles are number one here.
Yeah, hands down. The depth and the fact
starters.
That they have a Hall of Famer starting. Like it's hands down.
And I would say the Giants are number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jabril Peppers and Bethea. I'll put Cowboys. I think I'll put Redskins 3. Just because of Landon Collins.
He's not a scrub. He definitely gets to the ball, but Yeah.
Then Cowboys 4 with safeties. Want to do kickers? Punters?
No, I'm still a little mad at Jake Elliott.
All right, we'll give him Thursday to Jake. We're gonna let you make it up to us on Thursday.
Kind of pissing me off a little
And
bit.
Thursday, if you're listening, we're gonna be at that game. We're
Jets
gonna be
and
at
Eagles.
that game on Thursday to watch the fourth stringer battle out, to watch which corner is gonna really hang on to that final spot, which linebacker is gonna break through for that final spot. We're gonna watch Alex Singleton in person. Liam's gonna be very jealous of us. Liam Singleton in person, Greg Ward in person.
And we got really good seats for
We're
it.
gonna get really good seats, right? You're gonna be right up there. We're, if you're listening to us and you're gonna be there, let us know, and we'll try. And when we're pre-gaming in the parking lot, we'll try and get you guys over so we can talk some football. But so who do you from Thursday really stood out?
Thursday, I feel like it was. I wrote an article about it, and it's funny because it hit Bleacher, but then like 10 minutes later, they took it down because Pro Football Talk wrote the same exact article. Not word for word, but JJ Arcega-Whiteside, he looked phenomenal on Thursday. And it was mind-blowing because it's just like the kid was moving. I feel like the kid was everything they wanted Jordan Matthews to be.
And more.
Yeah. He was moving. He was dealing it. His run after the catches. He's got some burners on him.
Yeah, I wrote in a Facebook group the other day. JJ reminds me of a better Dez Bryant.
Yeah,
Dez Bryant wasn't that fast.
No.
He could run routes and he could snatch the ball. JJ's fast.
Yeah.
He could run routes and he could snatch the ball out. I mean, I know he has a while to get there.
I think he had one drop too. If I'm not mistaken.
He has a while to get there. Obviously, he's a rookie.
Of course.
But that doesn't mean we can't compare him. People do draft comparisons all the time, and he's gonna be, once he's like fully developed, he's gonna be scary.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be the number one wideout for years to come.
I think so too, and him, and then Greg Ward is again establishing himself.
He might make the team.
Greg Ward?
I think he might.
I think he's wide receiver 5.
Yeah, I think
the amount of time that he's been getting,
mm-hmm.
the amount of targets he's been getting, he's been built in the game plan every week so far. I think he's wide receiver 5.
He has a good ability of getting separation.
Right. And I think being a quarterback in Houston definitely helps him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now he can be in a quarterback's mind too. He's like, all right, quarterback's going to be throwing here. Let me get here.
Exactly.
Now.
If I was in a situation, what would I do? And let me scramble this way because he's going this way. Yeah.
Right. So
Mac
Collins. I think Mac Collins is above Marco Michel now at Agudosi for wide receiver 6. You saw Mac Collins a lot on the special teams last game,
but
which is his forte. That's his forte, right? And you saw Alex Ellis caught a nice touchdown from Josh McCown, who first game since
he looked really
last year, since retirement, looked very, very good, like we said before. Finding JJ for that touchdown, that really nice touchdown, and Ellis for that other touchdown too. And unfortunately, we couldn't see much of Clayton Thorson because he attempted one pass, he missed it, and then Mother Nature came in and said, nope.
But I think it's good we didn't see it, because if I heard that song one more time, he put in the article too.
Liam, we love you. But once Clayton Thorson ends up on the practice squad,
I don't want to hear that song.
That song gets on the practice squad too. We're done with that song. And for those of you that were with me on the live stream, I know I played it for you more than I should have.
We apologize for that. I was tempting him to do it too.
But that was it. That's it. I played it more that time just because I knew that was it. It's over. It's done. Let's take the shovel. Let's go into the grass. Dig a hole.
Put it in the little box.
Put it in the little box. Put in the ground and pat it down, and then put some cement on top of that too. Let's put a house on top of that.
Yeah,
it's not coming out again. But yeah, it was a really good game. TJ Edwards had 7 tackles. Mm-hmm. He might be a sneaky addition on the linebacker group too. Between him and Alex Singleton, I think it's really going to come down to, for the wide receiver spots, for wide receiver 6, not so much wide receiver 5, because we both think Greg Ward is probably number 5. For wide receiver 6 and the last linebackers, I think this Thursday is going to be a big. Cause I don't think cuts are due until the 1st.
Yeah. But I think they're gonna.
I think this game, it's really whoever shows up and balls out Thursday. It's really gonna separate themselves. So it's gonna be T.J. Edwards maybe versus Alex Singleton, and
Singleton's been everywhere though.
He's been everywhere. What's scary is though, whoever gets cut from there and tries to move to practice, they try to move to practice squad.
It's gonna be hard.
Another team's gonna sweep them up.
Could be the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets need linebacker help.
Joe Douglas.
And Joe Douglas knows this team.
Yeah.
And he can swoop up whatever wide receiver or linebacker gets cut from the Eagles because he'd be like, oh, I know this guy's good.
I know this guy twice already from the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken.
I forget who he took. He took someone.
Yeah.
He took someone from the Eagles already, and because I remember seeing them, like, well, he knew he was good. But yeah, so this Thursday when we're watching it front and center. We'll live tweet a little bit from there and again let us know if you'll be there, and during the week we'll also put out and see if and we get any responses. But so far this, except for last week, we've been predicting the seasons, the season predictions leading up to 2 weeks from now. We both had the Eagles going 13-3.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs as the number 1 seed, so a bye. My 3 losses are the Packers, the Seahawks, and the second Cowboys game.
Mm-hmm.
Brian's losses are the Bills, the Lions, and the final game of the season versus the Giants.
I feel like it's just trap games because I feel like this team could be that good, man.
Yeah, he thinks the Eagles going to be resting everyone's. We might have a Josh McCown or Nate Sutton if he's still.
It's a compliment because if you think about it, like if I'm saying that they're losing trap games, then I'm very confident that they could possibly go 16-0 if they really wanted
to. Say it. Go tell them. Say it's 16-0. So we didn't really do a prediction for playoffs last week because again they had a bye.
Yeah.
So. Our playoff teams, we have the Eagles number 1 seed, we have the Saints as the number 2 seed, we have the Rams as number 3 seed because Sean McVay's offensive mind, everybody swoons over his offensive mind. We have the Packers as the number 4 seed because Aaron Rodgers, a new head coach,
they could do
a lot of weapons.
Damage,
Defense is so much better now.
Yeah, they finally filled out the defense.
Got the Seahawks at number 5.
Just because they're always
in the play. Almost in the play. Russell Wilson, even though their defense is terrible this year.
Yeah, I think they only have Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, their defense is awful this year. So who knows? Maybe they'd sneak a trade in for Jadeveon Clowney.
Mm-hmm. And they signed the kid from Detroit, right?
Ansah.
Yeah,
they got Ansah, who's good when he's healthy.
But when he's healthy,
yeah. And we think the 6th seed is the Cowboys. We think the Cowboys sneak in. I have this maybe with that second loss, with that loss to the Cowboys that I have. Maybe that's their window to get into the playoffs. But definitely a wild card. Maybe it's 9-7, 10-6 campaign.
I can see that.
So that means the first round of playoffs, we got Rams versus Cowboys and Packers versus Bears. So that means the Eagles would face the lowest remaining seed, and the Saints would face the highest remaining seed. So, Rams versus Cowboys. Who do you think who do you think will win out of that?
I'm gonna say Rams just because I hate what I'm about to say. I think McVay will outcoach Garrett, even though I don't believe McVay is the greatest coach.
He's so overhyped.
I think he's so overrated because if you actually listen into what he does with Jared Goff, so the play clock they have 30 seconds. So they have 30 seconds. The offense lines up before they get even close to the 15-second mark. McVay looks at the defense. He switches everything up. And to me, a coach is kind of like a leader in a sense where you're influenced and not running things in a sense.
Yeah.
So I think he does outcoach Garrett in that sense.
So he has the number 3 seed Rams being the number 6 seed Cowboys, and I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I just think it's going to be another Cowboys are in the playoffs, so watch, everybody's overhyped, and then crumble again.
And then I don't see them stopping Aaron Donald.
No, Aaron Donald, it's who knows how healthy that line's going to be, the offensive line's going to be come playoff time. Aaron Donald's just a monster.
Yeah,
he's the only defensive tackle that's better than Fletcher Cox in the league.
Yes.
Only. And I hate saying anybody's better than Fletcher Cox, but you cannot deny Aaron Donald. He's just, he's a savage. Excuse me when I say this, that if you've seen him without a shirt on, dude is like, you take clay and you take a chisel and you just chisel, that's Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Dude is a monster. He's like 280 pounds, and most 280-pound people have a gut.
Mm-hmm.
Dude he has probably a smaller waist than me, and I'm a size 38. He's probably at 34 at 280 pounds. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's wild.
So then you got the Packers versus the Bears, which whoever wins here would face the Eagles, because with the number 3 seed beating the Cowboys, the highest seed faces the Saints. So it would be Saints Rams in the NFC, the divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
So Packers versus Seahawks.
Packers versus Seahawks or Packers versus Bears?
Packers versus Seahawks.
Seahawks. So Seahawks. I take Seahawks over that one. Pete Carroll versus the rookie coach and Russell Wilson.
I got the Packers there.
Yeah?
I think the Packers, just because the Packers, again, the Seahawks defense, unless they upgrade it with Jadeveon Clowney, or they don't really have good corners.
But that might be a shootout.
It would be a shootout, but
because the Packers defense is pretty young.
It's pretty young, but I think by that point,
it might be
they're meshed,
okay.
because they got Preston Smith, they got
they
Adrian Amos,
and they picked up the.
They got the guy from
the defensive tackle,
the Ravens.
No, the kid that they drafted. Oh man, he's a defensive tackle, but apparently he's supposed to be like sneaky good.
Oh, Rashawn Gary.
Yes.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary's really good. They got that corner from that rookie corner they had last year.
Oh, Jair Alexander.
He's really good. They got Adrian Amos. Like I said, Adrian Amos was really good. I just think that defense holds Wilson more than Seahawks defense holds Packers.
Okay.
So I think it'll be Eagles, Packers, divisional round. Saints, Rams, divisional round.
So before we jump into obviously we're not going to predict divisional round today, but just a sneak peek. Are you more scared of the Eagles facing Packers or the Eagles facing Seahawks?
Seahawks.
Okay.
Because they're terrible against mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I know Aaron Rodgers is pretty mobile, but he's not Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's yeah.
Let's do divisional round. We'll do an NFC Championship game next week.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
So you have Rams versus Seahawks. I mean, Eagles versus Seahawks. Who do you think wins Eagles Seahawks?
I'm going Eagles just because playoff time in the link. I don't see.
Right, they have home field advantage throughout.
Yeah.
In our scenario,
I can't see that.
I think Eagles Packers. I have them losing to the Packers in September.
Oh,
no, not now. No.
I'm like, wait, hold on.
No, I'm on the Eagles podcast. I can't do that. I can't do that. They lost to the Packers in my scenario in September.
Okay. So it's a revenge
just
game
because it was 3 days between.
Mm-hmm.
I think a full 2 weeks of preparing for all that Aaron Rodgers does, all that defense does,
and a healthy Wentz.
I think that does wonders. I think this is a shootout too. I think this is a 40 to 30 something game.
Wow.
I don't think the defense for either side has a very good game.
Nobody shows up.
I think the Eagles win.
Okay.
And I think they will be facing the Saints.
I want that game so bad. I can't stand Kamara.
The ultimate
bro,
shut your mouth game, because Kamara with the ski mask, and they want to say all that crap against the Eagles.
Oh man,
this is the year that the Eagles versus the Saints in an NFC Championship game, and we'll tell you who wins that next week. But Eagles versus Saints NFC Championship game, Alvin Kamara showing up against Malcolm Jenkins. I wouldn't be surprised if Malcolm Jenkins wears a ski mask under his helmet.
I hope Jenkins pulls a Brandon Cooks on him.
Oh yeah,
just lays him out.
Oh yeah, or Sheldon Brown. I mean, it's the Saints.
Yeah,
Sheldon Brown on Reggie Bush.
Oh man, just knock him loose.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, if you just became an Eagles fan last couple years, Google, or if you just want to reminisce, that's a good clip to reminisce. Google Sheldon Brown hit on Reggie Bush and just play it on loop.
Just nonstop,
because that hit sent Reggie Bush's helmet across the globe.
Yeah, that was a hell of a hit.
That was a great hit. And Malcolm Jenkins hit on Brandon Cooks in the Super Bowl.
Bro, that was like, I don't know what Cooks was doing. Because he was going the wrong way. Just let's start with that.
He was going the complete wrong way, and then he ended up in the hospital.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah.
So we covered positional rankings. We covered our predictions. We also touched upon Andrew Luck, possibly getting traded. And now we're in the 4th preseason game, Jets and Eagles. And after that, we're back. I mean, it's a week off. Well, no. Yeah, after that, we're back.
Well, after Thursday, which is August 29th, we got 10 days.
Oh, man.
10 days, maybe 11 days, 10 days till Eagles football at 1 o'clock, September 8th. Mark your calendars, set your alarms. We're almost there.
Yeah.
One more preseason game until Case Keenum. Until Case Keenum comes back to town. We don't have Patrick Robinson anymore, so.
Unfortunately not, but
it's okay. It's all right. Same result.
Yeah, we got Vontae Maddox.
The same result. That's right. Vontae Maddox will come up. Maybe Jalen Mills. He won't play.
Yeah.
Rasul Douglas pick 6.
Nobody knows what's going on with Mills, and that's a little scary.
Who knows? But
we'll then see. Next week we might possibly have something special in store for everyone.
Very special.
Waiting for a little confirmation during the week, and then we might announce it on Twitter eventually.
Yeah, so look out for Twitter. Again, with this Thursday, 7 o'clock, it's Eagles Jets at MetLife Stadium. That's only about 45 minutes from us, where we live in Jersey, so we'll be there. And if you're gonna be there too, if you feel like paying the whole $10 to sit in the end zone,
that's not bad.
It's fourth stringers, so they're like, here, they might as well give the tickets away for free at this point.
You get a ticket.
So because I mean parking's even I think $10.
Yeah.
Because it's just 4 stringers, and it's gonna be any football game is a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Any football game is a great game. But it doesn't hurt that our first football game of the season is going to be $20 for $13 a person.
And that's my daughter's first game too, as well.
There you go.
First
so we
will
be there with Brian's daughter Riley, and his wife and father-in-law, and my wife, and the baby in my wife's belly right now. So I guess can we count that as her first game? No, kind of in between. It's in between. It's preseason. So my unborn daughter's first game.
It's preseason.
And we look forward to seeing any of you there. Let us know, and we'll let you know where we're parked. And you guys can come over, hang out with us. You can tweet with us, and we'll have a great time.
Yeah. So until then, Eagles fans,
go Birds.